Just got my Friday spray tan. This is definitely the darkest one that I've ever done. They used an entire bottle on me today. I am walking to my car. I know people are staring at me like I'm a crazy person, and honestly, these guys right here are kind of cute, so catch me in 24 hours, boys. I'm like trying not to touch anything in my car right now. I brought Charlie with me. He's like, Mom, you look like a Tin Man.
Pray for me. Pray for me that this washes off to a nice colour, because I am walking around looking like this right now after my spray tan. Also, my hands are going green. Oh God.
If you want a tan that looks as dark as this, you need to use our Ultra Dark Tan. This is applied with gloves, and look at the bloody difference between my ankle and my foot. Look at this.
Oh my God. One layer. This is one layer of tan. Just to give you a close-up, yes, this is my natural skin tone. My favourite tan in the world is officially back in stock. Get the Tan Studio Tanning Oil in shade medium or dark. I'm more in shade dark. And you get a brand new Tan Studio Mitt for only £22 to look like this. Honestly, I had the worst sleep of my life last night because I just did my tan and I had to wear long pyjamas, and it's like 30 degrees, but it was worth it for this tan. I cannot stand to be milk bottle wet in this weather. It's a tanning oil, so a brand new formula for Be Perfect. It's raspberry scented, and because it's an oil, it's really hydrating and moisturising to the skin, so the wear off is so good. And when you actually get to the stage of scrubbing, it comes off so easy. That is what is the fucking dream for me. Because now I'm a tanning weekly girl. So yeah, £22, best tan on the market. Trust me, grab it quick because it might sell out again.
I left my tan on for 13 hours to see what would happen. I wanted to see just how far I could push it without seeing any shitty side effects. So here are the results. When I woke up and pulled out my camera, I was in actual shock because I don't actually get crazy dark results from a mitt. I usually use a rubber glove, but this was freaking insane. I mean, it definitely grabbed my knees a little bit more than usual, but in saying that, I chucked this on in like 5 minutes and I didn't prep at all. I honestly almost think it is too dark for me. I think I'll stick to 2 to 6 hours because I get the best result in that time frame.
You have to start asking the adult questions. Where are they getting the melanin to inject into the people?
While I share this man's concern about what they're injecting into their bodies, in the comments there's a suggestion that people are essentially extracting the melanin from the cadavers of Black people and then injecting that melanin into themselves. That is not the case of what's happening. Rather, they are injecting a synthetic peptide hormone known as melanocyte-stimulating hormone, which increases the production of melanocytes or melanin, and also increases the risk of melanoma. So I do not support the use of melanotan, but I also want to dispel the myth that they are actually extracting the melanin from Black people.
This is the tan I have currently after 13 doses of melanotan-2, the tanning peptide. So far, this is my experience. I've noticed appetite suppression. I've gotten darker. My libido's gone up. My moles and freckles have gotten darker. That's to be expected. I don't notice any new ones, but that's not to say that there isn't.
Melanotan-2 is an unlicensed, unregulated peptide that is an analog that stimulates alpha melanocyte stimulating hormone.
This is my own research. Always consult a healthcare provider before making any medical decisions for yourself.
All right, I'm going to throw on my glasses here, guys. I'm using Open Evidence, which is basically our doctor-related AI research tool that we use that you can only get into if you have an MPI number. Are there risks to using this? And here's what we got. There are multiple documented and potential risks spanning dermatological, systemic, cardiovascular, and infectious disease categories. Multiple national health organizations have issued warnings. So some of those things are, obviously, we're worried about melanoma, right? Because we're stimulating the melanin. And so this is the most clinically concerning thing. It says eruptive and dysplastic nevi. So he said he didn't have any new spots, but if you do have spots or new spots, you could basically be stimulating a melanoma or a skin cancer. So listen, the idea that I wanted you guys all to walk away with here is that peptides are not totally benign. You should not, as he said, just treat yourself with some of these peptides. There are drawbacks to peptides, and you can see clearly in this one that we all are worried about things like melanoma, and there are clearly other things besides melanoma that we have to worry about. So be careful.
I said earlier in my previous video, it's summertime again, and we run into people, white folks, who are not melanated naturally because of the white pigmentation of their skin. And you see people spraying cans of spraying tans on their skins, but they do not just stop there. They're injecting themselves with some artificial assimilated syrup that is aimed at trying to get their skins darker. And I'm asking myself, for what goal? What is the purpose of this? And that is what we are trying to explore in today's content. So if you're coming across my YouTube channel, you're welcome. If this is your first time, please do hit the subscription button, hit that notification button, so that when we bring updates, you'll be the first to be notified. And if you're not a subscriber, a returning subscriber, thank you. You're the reason why we do what we do. And so we're going to explore those videos. And from what you could hear from the medical experts, he said it's a very dangerous thing to do by yourself without proper supervision and proper medical recommendation. So we have a couple of more videos to share with you. And at the end of the day, we'll come to give you our own personal observation and conclusion. Credit to the original content creators of these videos.
On a second, if this is what my tan looks like now after I've just put it on, and I'm meant to like leave this sit for a few hours, and then it like develops even more like even after you wash it off, I'm low-key scared for what it's gonna look like, because this is already so dark, but like it's not orange. I'm so obsessed. Are you serious? Guys, I'm kind of scared. Stay tuned. I'm gonna have to update you guys when I wash this off, because
So white people are injecting themselves with melanin shots. Go look up MT2. Basically, it's a synthetic peptide, and it has the natural hormone of melanin in it. It helps them with their libido, to reduce their appetite, and to quote unquote stimulate deeper tanning. Okay, so you can't make this type of stuff up. Now, do y'all hate us, love us, want to be us? The infatuation is crazy. And it's really crazier because majority of these people that I'm seeing in these MT2 videos are also deeply racist. At this point, it has to be a mental health disorder, because what are we doing? What's crazy is they want our skin complexion, but they don't want our blues. They could never live through the Black experience in this country, or anywhere around the world for that matter. But y'all, look at all of these pictures and videos. Like, this stuff is really real. So initially when I seen this, I wanted to laugh because the hypocrisy is crazy. You really want to be us. But then I started to realize that this is extremely concerning, because if they're getting these melanin shots off the black market, where in the world do you think that they're getting the melanin from? I give y'all a few seconds to think about that. Now, it's a whole bunch of black people that have gone missing. It's a whole bunch of stories about black lynchings and black people being found dead, but being stuffed with paper because our organs are gone. Y'all, we're being harvested. But like they say, melanin is more precious than diamonds and gold. Y'all stay safe out there. Let me know in the comments what y'all think about the story.
So let me get this straight. People are now injecting themselves with a peptide called MT2 to get the exact same brown skin that women have been told to bleach off their bodies for centuries. Someone make that make sense. And here's the part that we should all be concerned about. MT2 is a synthetic version of a hormone that tells your body to produce more melanin. It's not FDA approved, not for tanning, not for anything. So what people are injecting is unregulated. No oversight on the purity, no oversight on the dose. And the side effects, I'm talking nausea, blood pressure changes, and here's the most concerning one. It darkens your moles and can change them. And you know dermatologists have flagged that because changing moles are exactly what to look out for with skin cancer. People are risking that for melanin. For melanin, we were told to hide. Here's what I know. My grandmother stayed out of the sun. My mother was handed Fair and Lovely before she was handed a diploma. We were told to marry someone with more fair skin. We were told to wear lighter colored makeup. We were told to never let melanin win. A whole industry was built around convincing brown women that the skin we were born in needed to be changed. And now it's a needle. It's a trend. It's a vial with no FDA approval. But let me tell you something that the marketing team won't. The brown skin was never the deviation. The brown skin has always been the standard. We have been glowing in the sun while the world told us to hide it. So let me be clear about what's happening here. The same skin you sold us creams to erase, you're buying needles to fake. The brown skin girls didn't change. The story did.
What if you could lower your risk of skin cancer by changing the color of your skin? More people are diagnosed with skin cancer in the US than any other kind of cancer combined. In fact, melanoma, a highly dangerous type of skin cancer, is estimated to claim one life every hour. Okay, this is a big subject, so let's start with the science. Everyone has something in their skin called melanin, a biological pigment that gives us the color of our skin, hair, and eyes. The cells in our epidermis that make this pigment are called melanocytes, and everyone has the same number of them, but everyone's melanocytes make different amounts of melanin and different kinds. Melanin serves a few very important purposes besides giving your skin its color. When you're outside, your skin is being exposed to the ultraviolet rays of the sun. UV radiation is just that, radiation, and prolonged exposure can damage the DNA of your skin cells. With enough damage, that DNA can start to malfunction and the life cycle of your skin cells is disrupted, potentially causing uncontrolled replication and leading to cancerous growths. Your body's looking out for you though, and has a couple of defense mechanisms, one of which is your melanocytes. Inside your melanocytes are little melanin-producing factories called melanosomes. If the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, the melanosome is the powerhouse of the melanocyte. And there are two kinds of melanin produced by these melanosomes: eumelanin, a darker pigment, and pheomelanin, a light-colored pigment. Eumelanin blocks UV photons from damaging your skin, so those without a lot of it, or people with lighter skin, are at higher risk of sun damage. So when your skin is exposed to more sun, your melanocytes are turned on to produce more UV-blocking melanin to protect your cells. How much melanin and which kind is controlled by your genes. That's why some people's skin tone deepens, or is making more melanin when exposed to sunlight. Others can't produce more than a certain amount of melanin, and so find their skin exposed to more damage, resulting in sunburn. So more melanin equals darker skin tone and equals protection from the sun's harmful rays. The big takeaway from all this detail is that those with more melanin, particularly eumelanin, are at decreased risk for skin cancer. And now, researchers have explored how that level of protection can be artificially induced for those who don't have it naturally. It turns out that the melanosomes that produce the two different types of melanin have different pHs. And remember, the melanosome is the little pigment-making machine inside your melanocytes. Eumelanin, the dark, highly protective pigment, is produced by melanosomes that are less acidic than the melanosomes that produce pheomelanin. So researchers have posited, and have now shown, that they can actually change the relative amounts of which kind of melanin your melanosomes produce. Inhibiting a certain enzyme called SAC can make melanosome pH less acidic and allows those cells to produce more eumelanin, meaning darker pigmentation and increased protection from skin cancer. We're still not exactly sure why pH influences what kind of melanin your melanosomes produce, and this is an area that researchers are hoping to explore further. It's important to point out that this is different from regulating melanin production by changing the way your genes are expressed. It's not genetic editing. This new research could instead result in a pharmaceutical drug that induces pigment production, potentially for use by populations vulnerable to skin cancer or those with pigmentation conditions that they'd like to treat. This is still in the very early stages though, being tested in mice and human skin cells in petri dishes. It's a long way from practical applications in humans. Okay, so the science is super cool, but the color of someone's skin has been something that defines and often divides humans for millennia. So if it becomes possible for us to change that color in a very fundamental way for medical purposes, what does that mean for our conception of things like race? Would its use be ethical? The authors of the study note at the very top of their research paper that skin pigmentation not only has health implications, but also very important psychosocial ones. A reminder that science doesn't happen in a vacuum, and its results and takeaways go out into an imperfect world. And that's something we need to consider.
So if you take melanotan, you are microdosing a tan and macrodosing a cancer risk that you cannot undo. That's not a glow up, ladies. That is a gamble with your largest organ. Melanocytes are the cells that produce pigment. They are also the cells that become malignant in melanoma. So melanotan stimulates these cells to proliferate and produce more melanin. So you are activating the exact cellular machinery that skin cancer hijacks.
Oh, I can't get over the smell. The colour difference is wild. How good. Let me do under the arm while it's still wet, yeah. And then what we'll do is we'll take the gloves off to show you the difference.
So welcome back, guys. These were the same people who made melanated people feel very bad about the color of their skin. So beauty products across Africa. There was this consciousness that was they tried so much to instill in the mind of the black that white is better and black is inferior, or melanated is inferior. And so that gave rise to a lot of bleaching creams, what they call them in African continent. Everyone trying to be as fair as possible to look white. Was it possible that the cosmetic industry at that time was born out of envy? The superiority of the skin and how people who are melanated are not prone to cancer because of the toughness and the nature of their skin. Now the same people who had encouraged years of telling people to hide their skin and to be ashamed of the color of their melanated skins are the ones who are tanning, taking MT2 so that their bodies could generate more melanation to enjoy those things like boosting libido for sex. But now the experts are coming out and saying you are doing that at your risk. You are putting yourself on harm's way, and you shouldn't be doing that without proper supervision. In short, you shouldn't be doing that in the first place. And so I want to know what your thoughts are, or opinions are. The conversation is always getting interesting every time when we look at such subject matters. Trust that you do justice to this matter in the conversation section. See you on my next video. Bye.